Hello and welcome back to my channel. The next video that I am about to post is going to be hard. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it has to be posted. It has to be done. It is video evidence and news evidence of the basically crimes, harassment, and police brutality that the police are inflicting on protesters, medics that are there to just help, and Otis is in here. I don't know if I said that. And it's out here so you can see what's really going on out there. And these are peaceful protesters being hurt by the cops, and it's completely and totally unacceptable. If a lot of this was done at a time of war or in another country, it would be considered a human rights violation and breathe for a second, and a war crime. So the first clip I'm about to show you, because we're going to break it down into sections. The first section is violence against protesters themselves. I'm warning you, the next clip is extremely graphic. Excuse me. So I'm going to play it, and then we're going to talk about it and move on to the next section, or the next clip. Alright, guys. Okay, so in that clip, you see a man walking up. He's not doing anything. He's not hurting them. They curse at him, and instead of arresting him or trying to peacefully de-escalate the situation, they immediately shove him on the ground. As you can see, there is blood coming out of his head. They have essentially assaulted this man for doing nothing more than peacefully walking up to them. He was no threat to them whatsoever. He was an old man that was no threat to them, and this is absolutely unacceptable behavior. The officers involved in this, the officers that just stood there, none of the officers even bothered to render medical aid after they shoved this man on the floor. In fact, one man goes to bend down and another cop pulls him up. This is completely and totally unacceptable, and this is police brutality at its finest on peaceful protesters. They're tear gassing people who are trapped. They have nowhere to go. They could just go in and arrest them, but instead they're just releasing tear gas, and they're trying to run away, and they're screaming, "I can't breathe." Does that sound familiar to you? These are literally cops who are not being held accountable for the actions that they are committing. This is police brutality. If you did this in another country, this would be a war crime. The United States is committing war crimes on its own people. You saw that, right? They were just sitting, not doing anything. They maced them in the face. That is what our police departments are now doing. Macing protesters sitting in the road. And yes, they're not supposed to be in the road, but macing is not the answer. Macing them in the face while yelling at them and cursing at them. This is America. This is what America has become. When protesting police brutality, they like to just continue using police brutality. Those were just some of the many videos I was able to find of the police absolutely brutalizing protesters. The next thing I'm going to start showing is how they are treating medics and medical stations. I'm going to have to talk about a couple of articles there and then keep going. Alright, so in the next video we're about to watch, a medic is asking people in the back not to throw water bottles because this is what happens. Let's jump into that clip.
I lost my voice to tear gas. I'm one of the medics from Austin, Texas, that they were shooting less than lethal rounds at while I was holding a man's brains in my hand because they shot him in the base of his skull. They used the excuse that he threw a water bottle. Then they said it was the man standing next to him that threw the water bottle, and we have footage saying there was no water bottle. Remember when you're way in the back throwing water bottles to show off for your friends? The people that are going to get shot and be in critical condition for it are those people who have the balls to go up front and say their piece.
So literally, as this nurse is trying, or this EMT, I'm not entirely sure what she is, tried to help someone who was basically dying in the street because he was hit with a non-lethal round, they're still pepper spraying, or they're still shooting and macing. You know, they're actively committing a war crime here by attacking her while she's trying to render aid. That's what that video shows. All right, let's jump on to the next video. I always watch it right before I talk about it. They were trying to get somebody help, and instead of the police doing their basic, and I do mean basic job, they instead fired upon an injured person, and the people trying to get him help, and they're saying they're trying to help, and they continue to fire. This is not something you see in what is supposed to be the world's greatest democracy. This is what you see in third world countries. This is not okay. And while this is happening, places like Ohio are making sure that you can't even identify the cops that are doing it. There's a news article posted down below. Go read it for yourself. Where they're taking off identification so you can no longer see who the cops are that are doing this to you. They're doing the same thing in DC. Okay, I'm gonna pull it together, and we are gonna jump on to the next clip. And yeah. Okay.
At the time, myself and several other medics were assisting and in support of people who were protesting on Main Street. We came there, we were clearly marked, as you can see that I'm clearly marked right now, and the riot cops opened fire with no provocation. All of us had our hands up, or we were standing in the crowd, and they specifically shot people that they knew were in assistance. So they shot medics, they shot people that were vulnerable and could not get out, and I was shot point blank in the leg and hands.
And this was what night was it?
This was Saturday.
The video you just watched is Asheville. It's where they walked up and not only attacked, beat, and hurt the medics, they also completely destroyed the medical station, including cutting holes in water bottles, stomping them out, and basically taking down the medical tent. They were not protesting, they were not doing anything, and this is what they did to medics, which again, if done in another country, would be considered a human rights violation and a war crime. So they were clearly marked as medics, and they still got beat and harassed, and they intentionally dumped out all the supplies to help the protesters, because why not? When we're protesting police brutality, why not just add some more police brutality into the mix? Why not at this point? We need police reform. Okay, now we're going to jump into the fact that they are attacking journalists, and yeah.
What I want to make sure is not lost in this, as we're seeing these remarkable pictures with this law enforcement presence directly behind you, is the why. Why people have been out on the streets protesting. Why this violence is taking place. There is some action behind you. Hang on.
Yep. We've got one person being arrested here. We've got... We're meeting? Yep, we're good. Yep. Hold on. I got you. Hold on. They had us here. We're speaking with State Patrol right now. Give us a second, guys. We can move back to where you'd like. We can move back to where you'd like here. We are live on the air at the moment. This is the four of us. We are one team. Just put us back where you want us. We are getting out of your way, so just let us know. Wherever you'd want us, we will go. We were just getting out of your way when you were advancing through the intersection. So just let us know, and we got you. And this is a scene here playing out in Minneapolis. This is part of the advanced police presence that we saw come over the course of really minutes when the local police showed up at the fire department, or with the fire department, I should say, on that building we showed you that was burning. This is among the State Patrol unit that was advancing up the street, saying and scattering the protesters at that point for people to clear the area. And so we walked away. I'm sorry?
You are under arrest.
Okay. Do you mind telling me why I'm under arrest, sir? Why am I under arrest, sir?
Officer's with CNN and he's on the air right now.
Okay.
You are arresting him live on CNN. We told you before that we are with CNN.
If you're just tuning in, you are watching our correspondent, Omar Jimenez, being arrested by state police in Minnesota. We're not sure why our correspondent is being arrested.
Hang on one second, Allison. Let's listen into what these officers are saying. That is an American television reporter, Omar Jimenez, being led away by police officers. He clearly identified himself as a reporter. He was respectfully explaining to the state police that our CNN team was there and moving away as they would request. And then for some reason, he was just taken in to police custody live on television. I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you, Allison. I just wanted to listen to see if we could hear more from the officers, the state police, as this is going on.
Yeah. We're trying to see what's going to happen, John, obviously, to the rest.
I'm about there, guys. We were just out here reporting the closure of the streets. They just, Omar was just arrested. I believe they're about to, we're all about to be arrested. That's our producer.
Our CNN producer is being...
I'm probably going to be taken in a minute.
Our CNN camera crew and our producer are being arrested right now on live television in handcuffs.
I've never seen anything like this.
Why, guys, what is...
Allison.
Why are you arresting us? I mean, we're just passing along the message, your message. I'm done, you know, we're just out here doing our job as well as you all.
We can do that.
Can you tell me what are...
Are you under arrest?
Okay.
Behind your back.
I'm being arrested now. I gotta put, can I put the camera down?
If you're just tuning in, this is our camera crew, our CNN camera crew, being arrested by the Minneapolis State Police. We believe the camera is now on the ground because our cameraman has been handcuffed. Our correspondent, Omar Jimenez, was also led away in handcuffs, as was his producer. They were standing where they were told to stand previously by police. They were out of the way. We don't know why they're being arrested. They're not being given any explanation, as far as we can hear, for why they're being arrested. We don't know why they're being handcuffed and led away. They are allowed to be reporting on the unrest that's happening right now, but for some reason the state police have decided that they need to be under arrest.
And just to be clear, Allison, having been in the middle of protests like this, I've never seen anything like this. I have never seen anything like this. The camera is being walked away now. I don't know if this camera is still in the hands of our photojournalist or whether the police officer, yeah, this is the police carrying our camera right now, frankly not aware that it's still rolling. We have been listening in, and our team there has not been given any explanation for why they have been taken into custody. And I just want to be clear, if you were watching what Omar was saying and listening to his reporting, he was explaining what had happened over the last few hours and how law enforcement was arriving on the scene and how they had dispersed the crowds largely and how for the first time there was order in the scene. Nevertheless, taken into custody, our camera now on the ground, still rolling, still capturing these live images.
This is the arrest of a CNN journalist. I'm sure you all have seen it. I mean, this video explains itself. He clearly identified himself as a reporter for CNN. He clearly identified why he was there. They had every right to be there, and yet cops still arrested him and took him away. At least they say that he was not violent, or they were not violent or brutal to him, but they still arrested a CNN reporter who had a clearly marked badge and a giant camera and his entire crew. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing was wrong. They are trying to make sure that we don't see what I'm showing you.
Hi, so this is Molly Hennessy-Fisk with the LA Times, and I just wanted to get this on the record that I was just at the 5th Precinct with a group of media. There was at least a dozen of us there, TV, still photo, and print. I had my notebook in my hand when the Minnesota State Patrol was advancing on protesters and us. We identified ourselves as press, and they fired tear gas canisters on us at point blank range. I got hit in the leg. I'll post a photo of that. We asked them, I was saying, where do we go? Where do we go? They did not tell us where to go. They didn't direct us. They just fired on us. We got stuck, myself and the photographer got stuck in a corner at a scale brick wall and run into a random building where I'm now taking shelter. There's police walking along the street, you know, not allowing us to go out. So I just wanted to get that on the record. Read more in the LA Times.
Alright, this is a video of an LA Times reporter who got pepper sprayed. You can see her face swollen. She clearly identified herself as a reporter, she states. They do not care. This is, again, police brutality, and they do not care. And they are just attacking indiscriminately. They are attacking our free press, which is against the First Amendment, our First Amendment rights. Everybody's going to scream about First Amendment rights. Freedom of the press is one of the most fundamental, and the government not being able to stifle it, which means the government attacking, which is what police are, attacking reporters, is literally talked about in our Constitution. And here they are again. All right, let's jump on to the next clip.
You're outside the White House where Donald Trump is about to speak. It's getting a bit tense.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We've just had to run about a block as police moved in. We've been fired at with rubber bullets. My cameraman has been hit. We've also seen tear gas being used. Here we go. They're moving through again. This is exactly what it looks like. Exactly what it looks like. We're just staying safely.
Oh.
Whoa. Oh.
Amelia, can you hear us?
Amelia, are you okay? Or your cameraman? Hello, Amelia. The police just charged at Amelia and our 7 News cameraman there, and looks like a policeman just punched our cameraman.
Which is interesting because they're not discriminating between protesters and the media here. Amelia, can you hear us yet?
Amelia, are you there?
Are you okay?
Yes, I am. You heard us yelling there that we were media, but they don't care. They are being indiscriminate at the moment. They chased us down that street, and as you see, they were firing these rubber bullets at everyone. There is tear gas, and now we are really surrounded by the police, and you really saw the way that they dealt with my cameraman, Tim. They're quite violent, and they do not care who they're targeting at the moment.
That's international reporters being attacked. They are not discriminating between protesters and innocent protesters, I might add, but protesters and journalists, they're just indiscriminately firing. She's hit. She runs. There's a minute there where you can hear how concerned the Australian media is. And do you have any idea how bad this looks? Not just attacking our reporters, which is bad enough, but you're actually attacking two reporters from another country. Like, you get that, right? Like, that's just... live in a third world country. It's official. We live in a third world country. This is not okay, people. This is not okay. All right, let's just jump on to the next one. All right, I'm going to be honest with you guys. There's not another clip because I can't take any more of this. I'm going to link the now video that I got the last video from. I'm going to link news articles down below. I have to go and edit and basically watch all this footage again. I'm so not excited about that. But I want you guys to see that this is what is happening in the United States of America. While protesting police brutality, the police are being absolutely indiscriminate in their violence. They don't care if you are a peaceful protester. They don't care if you are a medic. They don't care if you're a reporter. They don't care about you at all. They're just indiscriminately brutalizing people in the streets. And Donald Trump wants to make this more. He wants more police presence. He wants more National Guard. He wants more violence. That is what is happening in the United States of America right now. If you are viewing this from outside of our country, we're scared. We're terrified. We are stressed out. We are horrified. And we don't know where this is going to end. This could very well be the end of our democracy. And there are some of us sitting here that are very, very, very scared. This is something I never thought I'd report on. This is the equivalent of, I guess, our own civil rights movement. And we've prevailed in the past, and hopefully we will prevail now. But honestly, with Donald Trump as our president, I don't know. So, yeah. All right, guys, I will see y'all later.